Welcome back to Elevation 44. I'm B. For those of you who are new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back, family. Today, we're going to continue our series on working with the moon cycle, okay? And we've already went through the first 4 phases of the moon cycle, and we are ready to get into the 5th phase, which is the full moon, okay? And this is the phase that most people are, I guess hip on or hip to the game on, but I wanted to kind of bring you some more information on it, okay? So this is, I guess, the most familiar energy because it's the most talked about. However, we need some foundation, okay, to know how to work with this energy. So this is meant to be timeless information that is going to be able to be applied to any full moon, no matter where it is, no matter what sign, no matter what transits are happening, no matter what time of the year. Like, this is just the base foundation information to help you understand how to work with this energy, okay? So that is what this video is going to be about. If you have not already watched the first 2 videos I put out, I'm gonna go ahead and link that below. And I want you to kind of go back and watch those, because then this phase will make a whole lot more sense when you have gone through the other 4 phases. So those 2 videos, which are about the new moon, and then also with the waxing moon phase, which also has 3 phases in one. So those were the first 4 phases, and it'll just be good to be able to have that understanding before continuing on, okay? So again, this 5th phase of the moon cycle is the most familiar to the spiritual community because it's the most talked about, and it's the most hyped up, the most praised. I mean, and with all good reason, because this is like the energy at its top peak. It's just, this is peak energy. It's at its highest point. We have been building, and boom, we're ready, okay? When the full moon has appeared, okay? So like I said, peak energy has been reached by the time the moon is in this phase, all right? So this is when the light is at its fullest, when the moon is fully illuminated, 100%, and we feel the intensity of that energy. It has the most impact here on Earth, not only with, like, you know, our water sources like the oceans and, you know, the tides and all of that good stuff, but even within us, it's the time of the month that you know, people say lunatic, right? People act crazy, right? And this is when you see the hospitals, the ER rooms, and all kinds of crazy stuff tends to happen. You know, people who work in hospitals, who work in the ER, can tell you that this is usually their busiest time of the month. It just definitely has an impact on us emotionally, you know, like I said. So this is what we have come to like be most familiar with, okay? Now, this energy is a time, like, again, it's high energy. It's a time to focus on abundance, celebration, fruition, reflection, cleansing, and healing. And also gratitude too, okay? But more so gratitude in the next phase, but you can start with your gratitude cycle as well here. Again, we've been working hard since the start of the lunar cycle. We planted those seeds and we've been working so hard on them. We've been tending and nurturing them every day. We've been doing everything. We've been watering them, giving them nutrients, like we're just putting light on them. We've been doing everything that we need to since we planted those seeds. So this is a time of just being able to like sit back and say, wow, I did that, right? I did that, okay? Just a time to celebrate what we've been able to bring in and do so far. Also a time to just reflect and see how much we've been able to do. A time to just show that gratitude and be happy and thankful for where we're at. Then this is also a time of harvest, because the full moon is also associated with its own specific corresponding new moon, and those are usually typically 6 months apart. So if we have a full moon in Aries, right, then the corresponding cycle to it would have been the Aries new moon, which was 6 months prior. So all the seeds that we planted at that Aries new moon 6 months ago should be in fruition now at this Aries full moon. So this is a time of harvest, of cultivation. This is when the crops have reached their peak and we are ready to pick everything, okay? So again, this is also time for, you know, being thankful and grateful and just relishing in our abundance and everything that we have worked so hard towards, okay? This is also prime energy for adding extra power to your magics, your intention, again, because that energy is on 10. The peak is, you know, here, like you've got all of this energy. This is the time to use that to funnel it into your work, into your intentions, into your goals, into your like anything that you want to work on. This is the time to just add that extra boost of power to it. This is also a great time for your intuition being heightened. This is a time for clarity, for where your psychic abilities really pick up a notch, right? And this is usually the time that your dreams get really intense and just you get a lot of downloads and stuff like that. So the full moon really is really a good time to capitalize on all of those opportunities. Then it is also great for cleansing, recharging, and self-care. You know, this is when we really tap into our self-care and our self-love rituals, all right? Now let's just talk about how we can work with this phase. Now, let's talk about the simple things you can do with the full moon energy. This is probably the things that are most talked about in the community. Charging our tools that we work with, our magical tools or anything, charging our crystals, cleansing and recharging them under the moonlight, cleansing your space by smudging, releasing those energies out by getting some fresh air out and bringing some positive energy in. This is also great time to set up crystal grids to bring in certain energies into your space or around yourself, okay? This is a great time to make moon water, which can be used for a lot of those things like cleansing tools, powering things. You can water your plants with it, you can drink it. It's just supposed to add an additional boost of energy to whatever you're working with, okay? A great time to work with herbs and blend teas, make moon oils. This is also a great time for cleansing your spiritual body, okay? So just cleansing the energies that you have collected or picked up as you move throughout the world. So cleansing that out so that it's a prime for a spiritual bath or anything like that, or moon bathing, right? Where you can recharge your body, cleanse and recharge your body in the moonlight. So it doesn't always have to be a water element. It could literally be using the light of the moon to cleanse and recharge yourself as well. This is also prime time for, like I said, enhancing your psychic abilities, your intuition, and your dream work. So this is a great time to dive into lucid dreaming. This is also a great time to dive into astral projection or astral traveling and, you know, getting up out of here and going and seeing some different places, okay? And I have a whole video on lucid dreaming that I also put down in the description box for those of you who are interested in that. This is also a great time in terms of enhancing your psychic abilities. Some of the things that you could do around it is working with divination tools. So a lot of people like to work with like runes. They like to work with runes, tarot cards, and anything that's going to help them strengthen that side of divination and just kind of intuition and connecting with their spirit guides and all of that good stuff. This is prime for practicing magic, usually of all forms. Although I will say I would focus more on the magic of what that specific full moon is bringing in. So if it's in a particular sign, that's usually the preferred magic that you should lean towards, but you can practice all forms of magic. It's just that it would be an additional boost to practice magic that is kind of in the atmosphere or the realm of whatever that sign is. So like an example of that would be, let's see, Scorpio, right? So if the full moon is happening in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about that transformation energy or about that sexual healing or something like that, that would be the magic that you would do around those areas to kind of have an additional boost in that. But you can do any other magic that you want, okay? So sex magic would be great under a Scorpio full moon or Scorpio moon energy. So those are the things that I would focus on. But it doesn't mean that you can't do sex magic at the Aries full moon. It doesn't mean you can't do sex magic at a Pisces full moon. It really, you can do all forms of magic, okay? So in terms of doing your magic at this time, because the energy is highest, this is also a great time to strengthen, like I said before, and boost previous magic that you have done, or your intentions by just adding that extra boost of energy. So let's say you have done magic around certain things, you've set intention around certain things, and you feel like it needs extra power, it needs extra energy. The full moon is the time where you add that extra dose of energy on top of that. You boost it, you give it an extra battery pack, okay? So that it can come to fruition. This is also a great time for combining energy with others, so creating a circle of sorts and blending together and having a harmonious circle of, combining your energies to do magic together, to, tap into all different types of things. So use your imagination on that. This is also a great time that you can be honoring yourself, passion, pleasure, and self-love, and just focusing on pouring into yourself and feeling good and taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself, and really highlighting or capitalizing on the feminine aspects that this energy brings to the forefront, okay? This is also a great time for honoring your spirit guides, your ancestors, your deities, anyone that is helping you in the spiritual world, move through this material plane and helping you bring things to fruition here, because they are assisting greatly. So we're not doing this by ourselves. That is an illusion. We have lots and lots of help, whether you acknowledge it or not. So this is a great time for honoring that, that side as well, and just letting them know that you're grateful and you're thankful for everything that they're doing for you, and just strengthening that bond with them. And then finally, I will say this is a great time for meditation, reflection on your journey and your accomplishments, and just sitting back and seeing what you have been able to do thus far, and how far or the things that you still want to do, or you still want to bring in, and you still want to work on or heal or anything like that, because full moons are also a great time for healing. So there's just really so much that you can do under full moon energy. It's almost like the most versatile energy out of all of them. So this phase of the moon is that's why it's talked about the most, because it's kind of more of the versatile energy that you can really fit almost everything under, okay? Let's talk about some of the tools that you can use with the full moon, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about are some of the crystals that can be used at any full moon. The first is clear quartz, and clear quartz, if you've heard me talk about it in other videos, it is the versatile crystal. It's the universal one in terms of it can be anything that you want it to be. You can program it to be black tourmaline, you can program it to be rose quartz, you can program it to be jade. Whatever you need, you can program clear quartz to be. So the versatility is definitely is unmatched, right? But this is also the crystal that brings in clarity, and it also helps amplify energy. So when you're working with specific energies, you're doing your magic, you're working with certain things, and you want to amplify and boost that energy, clear quartz is the crystal that you want to have to do that, okay? Another crystal is selenite, and selenite is just cleansing, it's healing, and it also helps you connect to the other side. So when we talk about, communicating with the spirit world, downloading information, or all kinds of stuff, selenite is what we want to have to do that. Another one is moonstone, and I said moonstone is kind of like it can be used through all the phases of the moon. So moonstone is great for balancing and also reflection. Citrine is great for the full moon because it's all connected to happiness, prosperity, abundance. It's that gratitude energy. It's that that culmination energy, that everything has come together and everything is at its peak, and I'm just relishing in the abundance of it all. So that is what citrine is going to help you with. And I'll also say moonstone is great for psychic protection. I forgot to mention that as well. And then amethyst is another one that I would recommend working with any full moon, is because it is great for your psychic abilities, enhancing your psychic abilities, your intuition, and it's really that deep spiritual. It's like great because it's connected to the third eye, and it's just that deep spiritual crystal that really connects you, okay? The last one I would recommend with this energy is labradorite. And this is one of, it is my top, I would say that amethyst and maybe one other are my top crystals of all time, because the labradorite is known as the stone of magic. It is a powerful psychic protector, but then it just also just helps you boost your magic in so many other ways. So this is, especially since this is an energy where you can work with, you know, do all types of magic, I would definitely recommend labradorite. And also it provides that protection element that you need while you're doing your magic, okay? Some of the herbs and oils that I would recommend working with, or other earth energy, is frankincense, because frankincense is great because it's cleansing and it's also connected to gratitude. Mugwort is great for prophetic dreams and for enhancing your psychic abilities. Rosemary, because rosemary is like the all-purpose herb. So if clear quartz is your all-purpose versatile crystal, rosemary is kind of like that in the herb world, in the terms of it's the most versatile, and if you don't have something, you can almost use rosemary in place of most things, okay? And rosemary is great because it's also a very, very big protection herb, okay? I would also recommend citrus, orange, you know, any citrusy types of scents, because they're great. They're connected to high energy, they're cheerful, and they are connected to celebration, because this is a time of celebration as well. Sandalwood, because it's grounding and it brings inner peace. And that is it for what I would recommend for the herbs and oils, okay? And in terms of candles, like if you're doing candle magic, or you know, you're working with that type of stuff and you want to know what color candles that you can use with the full moon, all of them, all the colors, everything can be used, because all kind of magic can be done under this energy. So there's no need for me to get into the specifics of each one. I have an entire video on candle magic. I'll also link that down in the description box, because I'm realizing there's a lot of videos that connect to this one, but I will also link that down there as well so that you can check that out. I will also link my moon oil tutorial, because that's one of the activities of rituals I said that you can do under this energy. So there's so many things that you can do with this full moon phase, and I hope you found this helpful. I hope that this gave you a good basis of some of the things that you can do around the full moon. And then it also helps you craft your own rituals so that you don't necessarily have to look for guidance outside of self, right? And what feels right. To, you know, do your rituals or to have some type of direction, okay? So let me know in the comments below if this was helpful to you, and if you have anything that you would also add to this list that I probably missed, because there are probably a lot of other things that I could have added to this list that I missed over. So if you have anything else to add, leave it also in the comments below, because everyone else reads it and will take from that information as well, okay? So I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.